Alright, welcome to the next part in my E46 330i touring project. If you haven't seen the other parts, go and watch them. I've done a fair bit of work to the engine already, including the CCV, Vanos rebuild, valve cover gasket, oil filter housing gasket, spark plugs, and what else. And I've basically just cleaned, because I took the intake manifold off and I've cleaned the intake manifold thoroughly, done all underneath the intake manifold because there was so much sludge and build up because of the oil filter housing gasket and the way that was leaking. Done engine mounts as well. So yeah, go and watch them and you'll kind of bring you up to speed with where we're at now. So today's episode, we're basically going to be doing a service really, a general service. I actually put in a new air filter in the previous episodes when I put all the airbox and stuff back because I was there and I had the airbox open. So today I'm going to be doing a fuel filter and we'll put back the housing. So there's like a housing that goes along here basically. Which houses the cabin air filter. I've got a new one of them, so we'll put all that back today as well. Probably put the engine covers on, and then yeah. So I think we'll start with the fuel filter.
Alright, here's the fuel filter. I'm underneath the car now, if you hadn't guessed, and there is a little cover that covers this up, but I took it off in one of the previous episodes to put this line on, because this is a vacuum line that goes to the intake boot thingy. I've not just got a new filter, I've got new hose for these bits, and I've got new clamps as well, because these ones are very rusty and old and rubbish. There we go. Oh, I've made a right mess here. Okay, what I'm going to do now is cut some new pipe to size. New pipe on there. New pipe on there. Pipe on there. Put our new clips on there before I attach the filter, because otherwise I will forget. A new filter going in. Let's get these goody caps off. Yeah, that one on first, and then that one. Clean tray going back, which I cleaned out a bit. I clean these as best I can, they've still got a bit of shit on, but oh well. Little rubber drain, I think they're for draining any water out that gets in there. New filter going in, it says on this end airflow that way, so it's going in like that. I guess that's just stays there like that. This rubber thing actually came off. Let's get that back on. Put the lid back on. Right, now I'm going to run two things. I'm going to do an engine flush and a fuel system cleaner. The engine flush, basically you just pour it all in, let it idle for 10 minutes and then change the oil in the filter. This one says compatible for 5 litre sump capacity. I'm guessing that sump capacity is oil capacity, and this has this takes 6.5 litres of oil, so that's fine. And then this one says add half a bottle, and then yeah, away you go. So drink up. Oh, of course I spilt some. Oh, it's hot. Am I going to burn myself? Oh,
I've only gone and done it.
Lovely shade of brown. Right, I'm actually going to leave this for a good while, go and get some food, let it absolutely completely drain out as much as it can really. And then I'm also taking the oil cap off so it helps it drain better, and going to loosen the oil filter cap so then that can be draining out the filter as well, and pull the dipstick for good measure. Going to leave that like that so that can drain out as well. Sump plug going back in with a new washer on, which you should get with your oil filter. Now there is definitely a torque spec for this, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So I'm just going to do it tight but not too tight. Now, I'm hoping this oil filter isn't dripping because it has been sat draining for quite a while. Look at that. Nice. Right then, new filter here. I went for a man filter. Out with the old O-ring. Remember to lube up your O-ring with fresh oil. So let's get that on in place. Nice. Don't think it matters which way up it goes. You want on there. Right, now it's time to add some oil, which I've already done. I forgot to press record. Well, half done anyway. So I'm using 5W40, it's C3, it's long life 04, it's all the stuff that it says it is. And if you're wondering about brands anyway, it says BMW Castrol on there, so that's kind of all you need to know. But I'm pretty sure, well I'm not pretty sure, but you can read up online about this, but brands of oils, does it matter, does it not matter? But personally I'd go for the right brand and stuff like that. So yeah, I've gone for this. This is actually the same stuff that I use in my daily car, which is a 320D Touring, just a 2013 model. So I had 2.8 litres left in there from the last oil change I did on the daily, and then I've got another 4 litre tub here to make up the 6.5 litres of oil that this takes. I'll probably end up putting 6.3 in a bit, 6.4, because you know, there'll still be some oil in the channels and things like that, and I don't want to overfill it. And then I can just check the level and add a little bit more if I need to. Cap back on. So I got all this for 40 quid from a scrapyard. I managed to find a Saloon SE facelift that had all the stuff I needed. I don't think any of these parts are actually different between the facelift and that, but anyway, I managed to get the aluminium skid plate that goes under the sump, the undertray at the front. I'm missing, or was missing, my passenger side wheel arch liner, so I've got one of them. And because I was there, I got a driver side one as well, because I couldn't remember what sort of condition the one I've got was. And then I've got all this ducting that you need, splash plates. This one actually still has the outside temperature sensor in it. No idea if that works though. So yeah, we're going to give these a clean up. Don't know when we'll put them on the car, probably not today, but yeah, pretty good haul for 40 quid I think. And the arch liners aren't too bad. It's mostly just dust, maybe a little bits of mud, but these two under trays, because of the car they were on, which was obviously leaking, they are covered in a really thick layer. You can see the actual metal there of sludge. Just like, look at that sludge. Ooh. So yeah, I think brake cleaner and elbow grease, and we'll see what we can't do with this. Go look at that for a glow up. Nice and clean and grease free, pretty much. If you're wondering why I'm spending so much time cleaning stuff that's going underneath the car, no one's going to see, then that makes two of us. Alright, now we're going to tackle the wings. So I've got some new second-hand ones. These ones are in pretty good condition. This one's actually slightly worse than the other side. There's slight rust in the inside, but nothing we can't sort out. And you may have noticed it's the wrong colour. Now, so that I actually know what I'm doing, I've done the other side first, and the other side is even more of an off colour. The other side is actually black. But I'm going to be getting them painted because this colour, Grogrin Metallic or whatever it's called, it's pretty much impossible. In fact, I did find it impossible to find wings in this colour. And I bet now that I've bought some of a different colour, some will come up for sale, but there you go. So I'm going to get these on, they're dead easy to put on. Well, I say that this, but that side was easy to put on, so we'll see how this side goes. So it's quite easy really. You've got one bolt there, one there, and one there. And then you've got 5 along the top. So that little bit there, basically that little plastic bit slides into it. And then you see these two little holes in the slits in the bumper actually clip into that plastic bit there. So it kind of slides in like that. There you go. That was a lot more difficult than the other side. And then those bits simply push into there, and you'll see that will clip together hopefully. Oh yes, there you go. Poke the wire through for this. Get that plugged in. Alright, so there's 2 bolts which you can get to from in the wheel arch basically. There's one right here. These are the 10mm bolts that you should have taken off with the wings. So the 2 short ones going here and the long one is the one that goes up there, which you get access through the door. And then this one you're going to need an extension for to get to the back, which goes at the very back in that hole there. So the bolt I'm trying to get to here with the extension at the back, basically you can see it there, it screws into that bit, and the wing was actually basically in front of it, like that. So the part that it screws into, it wasn't actually holding anything together. So just make sure the wing is in front of that bit, and then it'll screw in. And with that one, what I've done there is, quite obviously, just make sure it's lined up and then tighten it up. I have another bolt that goes up through there. I'm not sure how legit that is, I don't remember taking one out, but that bolt fits in there, so let's go in there. The final bolt, which is the longest bolt of the 4, goes up through here to open the door, and that one goes into there. Also, just to let you know, I've not actually tightened that up fully yet, just because it didn't line up quite right. Look at this. So the bottom looks kind of alright, and as you get to the top it gets a bit bigger, which I'm not happy with, but the wings are going to be coming off again to get painted, so I'm not exactly massively bothered at the moment, because I think that might pull down a bit when I tighten this bolt up. So let's get the bolts along the top done up, and then we'll tighten everything else up. I need to get this in. So these little forks basically slide in there, and they sit around a screw which is there. Oh, and there's also a little pin here on the headlight that slots into a socket on the indicator, which helps it line up. So once that's in, you can tighten up the screw, and that's it for the indicator. That's all it's held in by. Now let's see if the bonnet actually closes and how that looks. Take it easy. Okay, hey, that's not bad actually. Spoke a bit too soon. Although that one is fairly easy to sort out because you just undo the bolts along the top and push the wing up a bit. So, but I mean, look, it looks like a car again, kind of a mismatched one. Now I'm going to put in the arch lining and all the ducting and stuff like that. So it's basically 3 main pieces. These 2 and the main arch line. So you want to first put that bit in, which goes that way, and then see this little lip here. this slots into that little section there, that bit there, so it kind of slots in like that. Put this in first. That'll actually stay there quite nicely. I bought a set of these clips which comes with that bit and the bolt, the 8mm bolt and washer. I mostly just need the bolts, but well, I thought I did until I realised that this thing that I got from the scrapyard, the other side, which I've already done, didn't have any of these on. But just make sure you've got all of them on, because that connects to the actual main arch lining basically. So make sure you've got them on, and then that can go in there. Oh, and make sure the bottom two are on, because there's two bolts that go up through the front bumper into there. Right, for the main liner, if you haven't already, you'll need to take the little push pins out of the side skirt. I took mine off before because I wanted to check for rust, and yes, I know that's dirty. I'll clean it another time because the wing is going to be coming off again, and to take the wing off you need to take the arch lining out. So I'll be taking all this out again, and then I'll give it a thorough clean once they're painted and it all looks nice. So for now I'm just shoving it on, but you will need to take the first two pins out the side skirt because the arch lining actually sits just underneath the side skirt. And then this lip sits, there's a lip on the inside of the wing here that it sits like in. Alright, obviously just figure out for yourself what the easiest way is, but for me, I found the easiest way was to get a couple of bolts in here, get those two in, then I think I put that one in, and then I went underneath there, and there's two bolts under there. There's actually a nut as well, so there's a nut that should go on there, but that's missing for me, I need to buy that. And then there's another bolt there, and then one that goes in that way. So then I got them in, and then a bit of sort of pushing and shoving, get the lip in, and then it's almost lined up. I had to use a pick here to try and pull this across, put it in the hole and pull it across. Also, this dude appeared out of nowhere. That's a monster. And yeah, should be able to get the rest in. So I think what I'm going to do now is get these little things in. If I pull this across and get them in. So I have some new of these little rivet thingies, which I'm going to push in. Now I'm just going to get the rest of the bolts in. Sorry sir, can't be here. Come on. Yeah, I'll just leave him. Final two things to go on now are this sort of skid plate type thing, which I found in a scrapyard, which a little bit beaten up, but it'll do. So that's going underneath, and then this goes in front of it. And these screws, I was quite lucky. The one I got off this car has all the screws in it, because these are just the ones that push in and do a quarter turn. They're not like screws, if you know what I mean. So that one just goes pretty much where it is, and it has 8 16mm bolts. Now if you're wondering, this skid plate is actually pretty much universal for the E46. I took this off a 318i, this is a 330i, and it fits. Might be a difference between petrol and diesel, I'm not too sure. But yeah, if it looks like that, then it'll probably fit. Alright, I've just been reading up about the torques of this. And basically, apparently you torque it to 59 Newton meters, and then an angle of 90 degrees, and then another angle of 30 degrees. But I've also read that these bolts are aluminium single-use bolts, and you're supposed to replace them each time you replace this cover. Which, if you have an E46 that leaks all the time, you're going to be taking this cover on and off all the time. And I've also seen a lot of people saying they've had the same bolts on and off and not torqued them loads of times, and it's been fine. So I'll leave that one up to you. I'll probably torque it and maybe not give it the full angle, just because I don't want to, if the bolts have already been stretched, I don't want to then stretch them even further and break them. So I'll probably do that, and then next time I have this cover off, which won't be too long because there is still a slow, very slow leak coming from somewhere. The next time I have that cover off, I'll probably put new bolts in. Alright, then we just have this cover to put back on. I'm guessing these go around the roll bar bushings, anti-roll bar, I think that's what that is.
Right, we're going to leave that episode there because we pretty much have a complete car now.
So we've got the wheels on, we've got the arch liners in, we've got all the undertrays on, side skirts are back on, and we now have 2 wings that aren't rusty. We've got one silver one black one, and the car's green. But down here, when I bought the wings, the same guy I bought the wings from, I bought a few other bits from, including M Sport bumpers. So they're going to be going on in a future episode. Probably going to be quite a while till we get them on. There's other stuff I want to do first, and then we're going to paint all the bumpers, the wings and everything at the same time, because also this rear arch needs pretty much a full replacement, so we're going to have to weld in a new arch because we've got rust there, there's some bubble in there, there's a nice dent there, nice bit of rust there as well. So yeah, that's just going to be a straight up replacement, and while I've got someone here who can weld that in, I want them to weld in reinforcement plates for the rear subframe. So the whole of the rear subframe is going to come down, and I do kind of want to fully undercoat the whole of the car again and remove any rust, but that's a massive job and a lot of expense, so we'll see what happens with that.
But yeah, for now we have a complete car, and in the next episode we're going to be taking it for its first MOT in about 3 years, I think, and we'll see if she passes. I've spent a lot of time underneath this car and I'm fairly sure we're good for a pass, but we'll see. So join me in the next episode then. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, do all that stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode. There's a couple of things that still need to fix before I take it for its MOT, and check lights, all the lights work, and just little things like that really, but we'll be doing that in the next episode. So I'll see you then.